Hey everybody, it's me, Super Paul Games, and welcome back to Wasteland 2. Looks like Commander Cow was laughing at a joke or something. Let's see. That's Mercap in the other room making noise. The young sergeant has the build and hearty confidence of a born jock. His neck is bigger around than his head, and his biceps strain the sleeves of his tight shirt. Jeez, they haven't even assigned you your bunks yet, and already the old man sent you off on a couple of do-or-die missions. Well, that's the way it goes in the Desert Rangers these days. I'm sorry to say, so we better get you kitted out ASAP. You ready to equip yourselves, or do you have some questions first? This is like one of the first guys we should have met. They should have standard issue. We'll get a few questions. Ask away if you want to know about any of the gear, name it. If you got questions about the Citadel, I can help you out there too. Where can we store our extra equipment? You see that ranger locker behind you by the wall? I think he means right there. If you want, your team can use it to store extra gear. Don't worry, I'll make sure nobody touches it. What do you mean do or die? Well, choosing between High Pool and Egg Center wasn't exactly easy, was it? And following up on those radio signals already killed Captain Ace. Okay, that's cold, I know, but it pissed me off! How did one of our best men die on such a bullshit mission? And now Vargas is sending you out to finish the job. Hey, I'm glad you found Ace's murderer, but it's not going to stop there. He's going to send you to find the same stupid signal. Old man? He must mean General Vargas. Oops, did I say that out loud? Don't tell General Fart Gas I called him that. He'll hit me with his cane, old man. Oh. How you feel about being in the Rangers? It's the shining beacon of decency in a dark land. Ain't that what the old man said? Well, we try. You can't be as honorable as the General says when you're out in the wasteland, though. I once tried to make love to a rock. I was really high on snake squeezins. Well, not if you want to survive. You can't be great all the time. Anyway, the way I see it, you're as honorable as possible, maybe, after you make sure the other guy's dead. You knew Ace as well? Ace was one of the best. All of us Rangers looked up to him. Now he's dead, so I guess we look down. Murdered! And for what? So we could chase some radio signal that might or might not be a threat to us down the line? Sometimes I don't get the General's thinking at all. I think the General's onto something, because we met the idiot at Egg Center that said something about a mechanical monk. That or I'm confused about the radio signals, which it could be. You don't think the signal's a threat? More like a waste of time, if you ask me. And I do ask myself all the time. We got bigger troubles right here in our own backyard. Why we gotta go chasing radio ghosts? What troubles? Well, red scorpions for one. I'm afraid if we leave them to their own devices, they're gonna get too big to put down. How do you feel about them? Let's talk about your emotions. Biggest gang around right now, and they're getting more organized every day. I say we should be going after them and leaving these bullshit radio signals alone. I don't know, the Red Scorpions, they're kind of bringing civilization back, but I hear what he's saying. Did you hear that Ace was killed by a robot? I hadn't heard that. Well, I guess you found something weird and we're bringing it to Mercaptain, though. We did. So you don't think the radio missions are important at all, though? I don't know why Vargas is so gung-ho to find the signal. It's already killed Ace, and it might kill you, too. For nothing as far as I can see. It's probably just some old pre-record message. Probably no one there at all. You think Vargas is too old for his job? I wouldn't say that. What? Maybe. No. The General's a good man, but he's not exactly a man of action anymore, is he now? I mean, he kicked ass back in the days of Cold Cheese and Finster, but nowadays it feels like we're all just sitting here on our asses most of the time, you know. Finster, we heard about him last episode. Who was he? Some kind of mutant master. Finster created all these mutants and tried to take over the world with them or something. Anyway, Vargas and the other old guy kicked his ass and made the world safe for humanity again. At least that's how Flintlock tells it. In case you wondered too, if you're like, that's a lot like Fallout, it's because Wasteland was one of the big inspirations for the Fallout series. In fact, didn't Brian Fargo work on both of them? What was base Cold Cheese? The greatest threat the Rangers ever faced? And oh, yes, Oh, so all the Rangers say, a bunch of robots in an old military base. Doesn't sound like a big deal to me. Whoa, he's an armchair general, Monday morning quarterback back there. Well, whatever. I just wish something big would happen in my pants. I'm kidding. I'm tired of hearing old war stories. I'm going to live through some stories of my own. Ranger Citadel, what about Ranger Citadel? Otherwise known as Ranger Clubhouse. This will be your home away from home as long as you're a ranger. Yeah, before when you kept us outside. And there are worse places to live, believe me. Food's good, water's clean, and you're surrounded by your best pals. Me! And a bunch of badass desert rangers who got your back no matter what. You know? Who could ask for more than that? Is there anything we can help you with, Tobias? No, I'm good. Well, actually, there's one thing now that I think about it. Now that us rangers are getting more active again, we're starting to use a lot more ammo, and I'm running low. To make more, I need as much brass, lead, and steel as I can get my hands on. So if you acquire any broken weapon parts, especially junk that's left over from modding your weapons... Oh, I found a lot of that. It's because you broke a lot of weapons. No, I didn't. I'm very good at modding. Bring them back to me, and I'll buy them at a premium. I like raw materials. But seeing as how the only metal we get is from our weekly level... What is it? Level up deliveries? Broken down... Parts of old weapons will work. Alright, show us what's available. Sure, have a look at what I got. Well, I'll get your requisition forms ready and make sure you choose wisely. It won't last a day in the waste without proper equipment and water. Do we get something free? Like, all this shit costs money. He's got a bunch of stuff, though. So he wants broken weapon parts. Which we have a bunch of. Well, Billy has been... Like, I know how to mod a weapon, and he doesn't know how to mod a weapon. Wait, why isn't somebody using this umbrella? I bought it so it could carry extra water, and I forgot to give it to anybody, I think. Who else is carrying broken weapon parts? That might be it. Thanks for bringing me in all those weapon parts. It's tough keeping all these mooks and bullets, but this delivery will help a lot. Keep bringing me what you find, and I'll... keep paying extra. So water's a problem? More people die from thirst in the wastelands, and I'm a thirsty boy. Then for bullets. So you'd be wise to top off your canteens every time you head out. See, you told us before we already left. Do we get nothing for a requisition form? I mean, there's armor here with steel plate armor. That's pretty good. Alright, we're going to give the sunbrella. That helps us with water carrying to... Vulture's Cry. She will lose a point in Animal Whisperer, but she can always grab that again if we have to recruit someone after Commander Cow. And this is our place where if we want to store things to grab later on. I may use that later on. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for saving High Pool recruits. I grew up near there, so it means a lot to me. I mean, I'm sad Egg Center got wrecked, but if I had to choose, I would have done the same as you. Aren't you interesting? Crew Tom, me too. Better to see Captain Captain. She just always likes to welcome new kids. On the block? Alright, let's go see her. We got this leg. Wasn't this in the... No, wait. We got the leg where Ace was killed. Because he was probably killed by a robot.
The new recruits. Back from High Pool. I've been expecting you.
Looking closer, you see that the woman isn't quite as youthful as she seems. There are a few gray hairs among the brown and a lot of lines around her eyes, but she sketches with keen-eyed intensity of a younger woman.
A very tough decision, considering it was your first time out. I would have picked Ag Center personally, but I understand your decision. Water is essential to the growth of the wastes.
Exactly! That is why we picked High Pool. Like, I get all the big plants are cool, but we need the clean water. You knew we were coming?
Every new recruit the General brings in gets around to visiting us eventually. The weapons and armor we make are what keep them alive, after all. Most are curious where they come from. I imagine you're no exception.
Oh, you speak of the General. What do you think of the great General?
Vargas is a man of vision and prudence. I know a lot of the Rangers think he's too cautious, but I can't agree. Slow and steady is the way to go. He's done an amazing job rebuilding the Rangers after our war with the robots from Base Cochise, and we're stronger than ever before. That doesn't mean, however, that we should now go charging off to fight everybody and their brother. We must expand gradually and fully assess all threats before taking action.
Well, it's nice to see there's someone in the Vargas' corner. I love the writing in this game, because the characters feel very distinct. You have that many different opinions in the place. It'd be very easy to make it black and white where everyone agrees with Vargas or everyone disagrees. I love how it's no big deal that Commander Ka was in here. What threats do we face?
The others say that our biggest threat is the Red Scorpion militia, who have taken over the prison which used to be our headquarters. They've been getting more organized and settled, and the fear is, now that they've established themselves, they'll start expanding their borders. What I say is, this will make them easier to negotiate with. Nomadic raiders have nothing to lose. A clan with towns and farms to protect thinks twice about risking their destruction by going to war. I say our biggest threat is expanding too fast. Let's make sure the communities we patrol are fully protected before we go looking for more.
It's kind of interesting that she thinks as the Scorpions settle down, it'll be easier to negotiate with them. Though she still says she doesn't like them. Do you want to eat a bag of dicks?
Not my area, sadly. I'm sorry.
What was Base Cochise?
A pre-war research facility, dedicated to the science of robotics. Its mainframe was malfunctioning, and kept building more and more robots and sending them out to defend itself against imaginary enemies. The Rangers destroyed the computer and the robots and saved the world, which is, of course, a good thing, but, well, I wish I had been a Ranger then. From all reports, the of the computer's AI was incredible, and its death was a great loss to science. I can't help thinking that, had I been there, I might have been able to find a way to shut it down without destroying it. What a tool for good it could have been.
Are you calling me a tool? You make weapons here?
Well, that's a bit of a misnomer. We do make some of them, the really interesting ones. But mostly what we do here is refurbish scavenged weapons and armor. One thing we hope our Rangers will do is collect any broken down weapon parts, stray bits left over from modding, what have you, that they find as they patrol the wastes and bring them back here, to Melson, over in the Quartermaster's office. In exchange, he'll buy it off you at a great markup.
What's Sergeant Melson like? He's the big guy I think we were just talking to.
He knows his guns, I'll give him that. Though I wouldn't have him in my shop. He's not nearly focused enough.
She doesn't even know us, and she's not afraid to throw some shade on that guy right over there. She's so loud he can probably hear her. He's probably got a tear coming down the side. Interesting weapons? I'm interested.
Huh. The interesting ones are my department. I'm always trying to come up with new and better weapons and armor using bits and bobs we have lying around. Can't just give them away, though. Creating them takes a lot of our precious resources, so the General is pretty tight with the requisition orders.
Oh, that's what Numbnuts was talking about in there. How do I get a requisition order?
Well, the General keeps a tight grip on requisition orders. All of the officers in the Citadel have the power to give them out, but only if we think a particular weapon would be necessary for the successful completion of a mission, or if we're impressed by how a Ranger team completed a difficult assignment. I can hand over one piece of tech for each rec you earn, but just one. So make sure you think it over before you take the first shiny thing you see.
So if we want special stuff, we gotta get the requisition things. What kind of armor do you have, woman?
We have everything from sturdy leather jackets to hand-forged plates, to the finest reconditioned pre-war combat armor we can find. You'll have to pay for the more expensive items. Research and repair doesn't come free, but we aren't out to make a profit, just to recoup our expenses. Go see Sergeant Melson for that. I've got some custom, interesting armor, but the General's orders are to save those for special loadouts only.
So that's how we get the special ones, is the requisition stuff. What kind of weapons?
We service, repair, and reinvent every kind of weapon, from knives and handguns to rifles, even energy weapons, when we can get our hands on them. We don't do explosives, though. That's TNT Tan's department.
Yeah, we met TNT last episode. Go talk to Sergeant Melson if you're looking to purchase your armaments. I only issue my interesting pet projects if you got a requisition order. What do you think of TNT?
Nicest guy you could ever want to meet, but, shall we say, less than cautious? He's nearly blown himself up more than once. He likes creating experimental explosives just like I like working on experimental weapons and armor. Though I dare say my safety record is a trifle better than his.
I hear he's dynamite. So, They're gonna give us the requisition form, right? This is where I'm so bad because I don't pay attention. Halfway through Melson talking, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. We got a cow commander. General Vargas said to bring this robot leg to you. We found it at Ace's murder site.
Let's have a look at it. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Did the General tell you? He was so pleased that you found Ace's killer that he authorized a requisition order for you. You were to have your pick of some of my more interesting creations.
Oh, apparently, maybe that's the requisition order?
Some very nice pieces. Let's see. The General allocated a requisition for you for completing a thorough investigation of Captain Ace's death site.
So I got a requisition for you. Let's see. These are the things we can choose. We already got sun umbrellas. We've got a bow. We've got a ship in a bottle. What's that? White Death. Negative 10% to evasion. Plus 5 to ranged hit bonus. We don't want to make our evasion less. What's this? These are all garbage. Seriously? Nobody uses blade weapons, number 1. These are garbage. This is your requisition? She's all like, I got all this great armor and ammo. There's nothing here. There's one weapon. Can I sell you junk? Leaving some for later? Well, you still got a requisition left. Let's see if you have anything better now.
Some very nice pieces. Nothing.
Yes, we don't need any of this stuff. Why is this knife special? This is garbage. We have a better... Oh. Okay, maybe... Is this why they didn't let us...
Thanks for visiting, recruits. Come by anytime.
Good to
and go
see
see Sergeant Melson if you're looking to shop.
If I remember...
Likewise, Captain Death.
A shaman of iron and death. Frightening.
This guy here is like, what are you talking about? We're making equipment and we're going to use them to bring justice to the Wasteland. Maybe that's why they didn't let us in the Citadel originally. They were embarrassed by the garbage they have. Talk about embarrassing. He's got some good equipment there. Later on in the game, I think she has good stuff you can requisition
Your
too.
wind talker has great knowledge.
You talking about when I fart, lady? Sergeant Wade Wilson, one of the most technically minded members of the Rangers. He's wearing a makeshift pair of glasses and is starting to gray at the temples.
Welcome, recruits. Nice to finally make your acquaintance. Good work saving the day and attaching the repeater units in High Pool. The General and I thank you. Now I'm guessing you're here to learn more about these mysterious broadcasts that you've been helping us with.
I think that's the General right there. I'm going to ask him what he thinks of the General in front of him.
Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about the General when I'm sitting right next to him, am I?
Aww.
You better not, Woodson. I'll take away your smokes ration.
Get him in trouble.
See? But seriously, I think the General has been a wise and cautious leader these past 15 years. Some of the boys may think he keeps it a little too cautious, but they're not the ones who have to feel the calls when good men die.
Who's that lady?
Since we started hearing these strange broadcasts, he decided that the quiet times are over, and his place is here, on the air, listening to the people of the wastes and sending his troops into battle.
That or he got jealous of everyone else having a radio show and he has one. I wish we could tune in other times. It's K Ranger Radio with your host, General Vargas. What do you mean by quiet?
Well, we spent the 15 years since we defeated the base code chief's AI retrenching, rebuilding the Citadel, rebuilding our numbers, solidifying our position. It made us a stronger organization, I think. But we also have a smaller footprint now. And some of the places we used to patrol have kind of fallen off the map. Now, though, I think it's time to wake up. The world is changing. These crazy broadcasts, the Red Scorpions in the old prison, reports of trade routes to the east where we thought there was nothing but radiation. If the Rangers still want to be a force for good in the world, then we gotta start stepping out beyond our own backyard.
Look out, Commander Kyle, we stepping out tonight. What are these trade routes in the east? East of what?
We always thought the radiation east of the prison was just too strong, and that travel that way was impossible. But now the Scorpions are claiming they've established trade with a community beyond the radiation called Damanta, and also with a group calling themselves the servants of Titan. We're not welcome in Scorpion territory, so we can't check the truth of all of this. But they do seem to be getting better weaponry from somewhere, so maybe it's legit.
Anything to say about this prison?
Our old home base. Not bad for what it was, but we've been outgrowing it for decades. When we cleared the previous owners out of this place, we saw an opportunity to make a move.
I wish we could ask about the central elevator shaft. When we came in, remember there was like an elevator shaft that had like giant like steel doors on it that they couldn't open? I want to know about that. Who are the Red Scorpions?
The Red Scorpion Militia. They took over the old prison when we moved out. Not really much more than a raider gang. But they're starting to tell everybody that they're the real law in Arizona. And they're asking people to call them for help instead of us. Maybe they're really trying to shape up, but I doubt it. Sounds more like an old-fashioned shakedown scheme to me.
The base coach's AI? What's that?
It was the Rangers' greatest enemy, though really all it was a malfunctioning machine. The mainframe of a pre-war military facility that somehow got it into its circuit board head that everybody in the world was its enemy. It started pumping out robots to defend itself. And if we hadn't stopped it, those robots could have killed everyone in Arizona.
Great robot story. How about you tell me more about the cool radio broadcasts?
We don't know where they're coming from, or who's making them. Hell, they could be old pre-war recordings for all we know. But we've been hearing them since the skies started to clear. And they've got a threatening sound to them, so we've been trying to learn more about them. Which is what we sent Ace out to do when that robot murdered him. Now, you've already attached one of our repeater units to the radio tower at High Pool. But because you were unable to do the same at Ag Center, we're in a bit of a bind. See, we intended to make a Watson-Watt Adcock antenna array using those two towers. Our tower here, and the tower where Ace died. Linking those four would have allowed us to pinpoint the origin of the signal. Now, however, we're going to have to try to find the radio tower the General already mentioned to you in DeMonta. If it even exists.
Got all that good. What's the Watson-Watt cock antenna array?
You sure you want to hear this? Most people's eyes glaze over when I start getting technical.
Yeah, go for it.
Really? Okay, you asked for it. So with the traditional Watson-Watt method of radio direction finding techniques, it is possible to find the direction from which a radio signal was transmitted using two Adcock antenna pairs to perform an amplitude comparison on the incoming signal. An Adcock antenna pair is a pair of antennas that take the vector difference of the received signal at each antenna so that there is only one output from the pair of antennas. Two of these pairs generate what can be referred to as north-south and east-west signals, which will then be passed to the receiver. In the receiver, the bearing angle can be computed by taking the arctangent of the radio of the north-south to east-west signal. Given any four antennas of a known distance from each other, this method can establish a very accurate directional vector on an incoming signal. Satisfied?
Whoa. He lost his echo. Vulture's cry is really smart. She's like, I get it. Billy's like, I just heard you say cock. So you've heard of the city of DeMonta?
I've been hearing the Red Scorpions radio chatter about this place for more than a year now. They claim it's somewhere beyond the eastern radiation clouds. I hope they're right. The radio tower that Gilbert says is rumored to be there could be our only hope for tracking down those mysterious broadcasts.
Why in the world don't you have echo? Why does Billy hear things differently? Is he on drugs? What do you know about the Egg Center besides they're all
I'm
dead?
very sorry you weren't able to save Ag Center. They were doing so much to develop hardier animal and plant stock that would survive out here in the wastes. It's a real blow to have lost them.
What do the skies have to do? I'm going to skip some of this other stuff.
Well, it's only a theory, but my guess is that the fallout that's been floating around up there in the ionosphere since the war has been muddying things up there, stopping long-range broadcasts from being reflected back to Earth. Now, maybe the fallout is starting to decay, and the ionosphere is slowly returning to normal, allowing it to reflect radio waves like it used to back in the good old days. Or not. I only know what I read in salvage books.
I'm not going to ask him about repeater units, because we already know about those, and we know about high pool. We were there. Whatever caused it, we're definitely picking up some more distant radio signals these days than we were able to even 3 months ago. Thanks.
All right. Good luck out there. You'll be hearing from us. A tough choice, recruits, with no good outcomes. Still, you chose well. Keeping high pool friendly is crucial to our plans for Arizona.
Yeah, I agree, boss.
Welcome back to Ranger Citadel, recruits.
Speaking of bosses, this is the... Oh, yoink. These are my books. I left them up here.
Good work cleaning up that infection, Rangers. I'm crossing Stubbins Farm off the list.
Oh, that's cool. He mentioned Stubbins Farm. We were there where we got Commander Cow. A stiff-bearded older gentleman wearing a hard-worn ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Snake Vargas walks with a cane, but he's not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip, and there are a lot of notches on the barrel.
So you saved High Pool at the expense of Ag Center. A tough decision, and I know it must weigh heavily on your minds. But a choice had to be made. And once you chose High Pool, you did all you could to save it and its people. I'm particularly pleased that you helped Kate Preston become the new mayor over there. She's the kind of pragmatic, level-headed leader the old place needs. Also, let me personally thank you for finding Ace's killer, whatever it was.
It was a robot.
I'm sorry your initiation into the Rangers has been such a trial by fire. But you've proven yourself tough under pressure, and in my eyes, that makes you fit to be a Ranger. Welcome aboard. Now, any questions?
Why don't you train us?
It doesn't ring any bells. Somebody's been telling stories. I left that name behind a long time ago, recruit, along with the man I used to be. Why don't you stick to calling me General for now?
I wrote Snake, and they came up with the line, "Forgive me, sir, but it used to be called Snake," because in the previous game, his name was Snake. That's cool that there's things you can type into these characters that they don't tell you about. That wasn't a selection anyway here. You think it was more than one robot, sir, that killed Ace?
The Rangers have fought robots before, but none like that. I don't know what that thing was or where it came from, and that makes me uneasy. I'd already sent Captain Mercaptain a special requisition form on the condition you bring her something that'll help us track down Ace's killer. From what she's told me so far, you'll need the best she's got.
She ain't got shit, sir. We went over there. She's like, I got a couple umbrellas and I got a knife I found I put duct tape on. It's pretty good. She's all talking about how TNT... You know, the Dynamite Man was like, he's not very safe. Of course you're safe. You're playing with a damn umbrella. Who is Alpha Mercaptain, sir?
One of the brightest minds in the Citadel. She's really helped us get our weapons and armor up to scratch, and she's always coming up with new and better stuff. Worth a visit just to see what she's got cooking.
It's going to be interesting to see what the General thinks of everyone. I love that. Did you walk in, General Vargas, to see her working on what's like technically a sunbrella? Because we don't get much rain here in the Arizona nuclear desert. That's some good stuff you got going there, Mercaptain. Keep it up. What about Melson, who sells shit?
Melson's all right. A bit young, a bit rowdy, a bit gung-ho. But the Rangers need that now. We need new blood, like yourselves.
That's what a vampire would say, too. Did you meet our commander down here, Commander Cow? What about Wade, who we just talked to?
Woodson's that man right over there, my radio wingman. The man who keeps me on the air. If you want to know more about the repeater units, or how to use your radio, see him.
We know about that. What about TNT Tan, the man?
Our munitions expert. Crazy bastard is gonna blow us all up one day. Does good work, though. In the field, his ordnance is highly reliable. It's just his workshop that scares the bejesus out of me.
What about the old man we met at the museum? Corporal Flintlock. Eggleston. He's got a bomb with a button. You should put that away.
Flintlock was old when I was your age. Now he's ancient. Knows more about the history of the Desert Rangers than any man alive. And he'll tell you so himself.
Anything else you can tell us about Ace, sir?
Ace and I went way back to the prison days. We fought Finster and the base Cochise robot army together. We rebuilt the Citadel from scratch. That I sent him on the mission which got him killed hangs heavy on my heart, and Angie's never gonna forgive me.
You mean Angie right here with us? You know her well, sir?
Well enough not to talk behind her back when she's standing right in front of me. Hey Angie, how you holding up?
Better now, General. I'm only crying 8 hours out of every day now, instead of 16.
Progress!
Ain't no shame in grieving, Angie. No shame at all. Place was nearly the death of us. Hell, it was nearly the death of the whole human race. Damned malevolent mainframe churning out an endless army of robots. If we hadn't stopped it, well, I hate to think.
That's interesting. And we saw a robot there. Maybe someone else is making robots. What's the deal with Erwin John Finster?
Craziest jackalope we ever faced. Might have been human once. Might have been sane, too. But when we met him, he was a crazy android bent on wiping out the human race and replacing us all with mutants. Got his head in our museum if you want to take a look.
We saw that. That's a weird thing. What about the prison where the Red Scorpions are based out of?
Our old stomping grounds, since right after the apocalypse. We moved out of there about 15 years ago when we took over this place. Wasn't a bad place, but the Citadel is more defensible. The Red Scorpions have moved into the prison since then. Nasty bunch from all accounts.
Nasty, but what do you really think about them, sir?
They call themselves the Red Scorpion Militia now, and lately they've been filling the airwaves with a lot of trash about how they're the real law and order around here. Just another raider gang, if you ask me.
I wonder if we can
give them the time of day.
You remember that lady we saw that got crushed by the tree? Wasn't her name Kathy? Let's see if we can ask about her.
I'm not getting you.
What about Brian Fargo, who made this game? Do you know him?
Doesn't ring any bells.
Oh, that's too bad. Any advice for us, sir, now that we're officially Rangers?
You are our next generation recruits, and I want you to make us proud. Remember that every action you take reflects directly upon the Desert Rangers as a whole. We've worked hard to gain the trust of the people of Arizona, and to have them accept our authority. Keep that in mind every time you draw your weapon or make a promise. The lives of other Rangers and the rule of law depend on your wisdom, honor, and forbearance.
You're talking to a man who's wearing a loincloth. Forbearance isn't exactly, like, his watchword. Thank you for letting us into the Citadel, sir. Can I say that passively, aggressively?
It is your home now, recruits. A place to rest and resupply between missions. A place to learn and to share your knowledge with others. But it's more than that. Despite its tarnished history, the Citadel is a force for good, a shining beacon of justice in a dark land, a bulwark against barbarism in a world of lawlessness and brutality. Indeed, it is the furrowed field out of which the seeds of order will grow into a new and better civilization. Hey, forgive me. Get carried away sometimes, but I do believe we are making a difference despite my shortcomings, and that our flame must not be allowed to be snuffed out. That's why we need young, motivated recruits like yourselves.
Shortcomings, sir? Surely you do not have shortcomings.
I've been too cautious, recruits. Since we took this place over 15 years ago, I focused too much on keeping the peace in areas we know, and not enough on outside threats. I wanted to rebuild, get our numbers up, but all I've really been doing is letting the world pass us by. Well, that's gotta change, and the change starts with you. You are going to find out where this threat is coming from.
Aren't you? Okay. This is also a place to learn, sir. Read a book.
We have a library here, where we compile maps and information about the region to help us with our work. If you want to know about any old tech or ancient knowledge, go talk to old Flintlock there. If you've got map questions, see Gilbert. He's our cartographer.
Gilbert didn't tell us hardly anything. He was mostly like, go fuck yourself unless you have information for me. Gilbert, sir?
Gilbert was another one of my squad. We called him Thrasher back in the day. A good man to have in a tight spot. Past his fighting days now, though. Took a wound during the Battle of Base Cochise and never fully recovered. Now, he's our cartographer and damn good at it. You'll find him in the museum with Flintlock.
Now, hopefully later on we'll have information to sell him. I'm going to ask him, in the first game, you remember when we went to Egg Center, like an episode or 2 or 3 ago, and there were the bunnies there? In the original game, there was a bunny master there they fought, so I'm going to ask him about the bunny master.
Damn, that guy was a psycho. He trained up a bunch of killer rabbits and was sicking them on Egg Center back when it wasn't much more than a fruit stand. We went all Elmer Fudd on his behind. We surely did.
That is so cool! That you can write whatever you want. Oh man, I wish I'd played all the original games, because I bet there are a lot more references to that. That's such a nice touch. Where can we resupply, sir?
You'll want to talk to our quartermaster, Sergeant Melson, about that. He'll provide you with all the weapons, armor, and gear you need to carry out your duties in the Wastelands. You may also want to talk to Ethel Mercaptain or TNT-10 if you need something special.
Yeah, right now we'll pass some Mercaptain's special stuff. We do have a page from Ace's logbook we found from near where he died.
Did you? Excellent work. Let me have a look. Not much here, is there? Let me see. Fell in with a snake squeezing cellar. Okay. Getting that feeling of being followed. Damn, tells a sad story, doesn't it? Guess what came out of the dark was that damn killer robot.
Didn't he say something about the snake squeezing dude going to Rails Nomad or being from it?
Well, looks like your best lead is to find this snake squeezing salesman, whoever he is. Mentions Rail Nomad here, so have a look there if you haven't already. Maybe this fella knows something more, like where the rest of the logbook is.
Alright, bye, love you.
Doesn't ring any bells.
Fine, don't return our love.
Make us proud, recruits.
Hey, General. How's the leg?
Fine, Angie. Hope you're feeling better.
It comes and goes, Snake. You know.
Yeah, still here, Wait, is that a damn dog collar you're wearing? Fucking rookies. What do you need?
Oh my god! So, if you remember from earlier, there's trinkets you can put on your character to give them bonuses. Billy is literally wearing a dog collar because it gives him a point to smartass. That is such an awesome game touch that the general notices that. I forget why. I was going to ask him about, do you love Commander Cow?
Are you sassing your superiors, recruit?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Doesn't ring any bells. Make us proud, recruits.
That is hilariously
Hail,
cool.
War Chief of the Desert Rangers.
Yeah, you talk a lot, vultures cry. Well, everybody, that's going to be the end of this episode. There's been a lot of talking, and you who saved a farm from some plague, let me know when you save a brothel. Yeehaw! Sergeant Tobias wants to get his dick wet. That was really cool. A lot of talking. Some of it was a little boring. Most of it was cool. Especially that you can type whatever you want to these characters. And there are a number of preset responses that's the only way to get. I don't think you need them for the story, but that's great humor and color and flavor. Actually, I'm going to add one little thing before we head off. We're going to buy some good stuff from Toby here. We're going to buy an M16 that we'll give to Chrissy. And then we're going to buy some tactical real armor. Goodbye! Good choices, recruits. But you're not ready to head back out yet. When you're done there, here, go to the mess hall and fill up your canteens. Yeah, we already done that. Whatever. So we're going to just give that gear out quickly. We will give Chrissy this because she's been carrying around this shitty rust bucket of an assault rifle. In fact, we're going to give that to Billy a moment. Let's see if he can break it down for parts. He'll probably just ruin it. And he ruins it. We can sell it to the guy right in front of us. He wants that stuff. Why do I have all these pants for? Oh, those are some nice pants. Billy just carries pants around. You never know when you're gonna need them. And what else? I bought some armor. Who has that? We will give that to Devo. His armor is +3 already. Oh man, but this is... I don't know what to do. That lowers the combat speed. Can you go over it? He's got a bonus to make it so that heavy armor doesn't slow him down as much. We'll just give him this. Maybe later on he'll get something heavier. And let's give that to... I guess we'll give it to Vag? You gotta cover that Vag. There we go. Now we got more armor in the group. And we've got a really good weapon That hits way harder than what she had before. I'll see y'all next time.